Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, back in the studio. Well, this is the weather I'm used to in the Ozarks at this time of the year.
It's not a weather show.
Oh, man. Okay,
hey, man, you knew it was going to happen. And, when they talked about the rain coming in, at this time of the year, it's going to get colder.
Yeah,
and it has gotten
It's getting colder.
And it's really going to get colder this weekend, which, for the deer hunters, is great news.
This is perfect. Every guy that's going out to hunt right now is so happy about this. Now, let's talk about sports because, yes, this is not a weather show. Kansas City Chiefs returned to practice yesterday. Did anyone of note miss?
Yeah, they did. On the offensive line, Remmers and Niang were out. Niang has a lingering back problem, and Remmers does too, although he has a bunch of other injuries that are keeping him off. Now, it doesn't say they're not going to play on Sunday, but they were out of action. And on the defensive side, L'Jarius Sneed, he has a back problem also, and Chris Jones. Chris Jones didn't practice, but I think the way it's described, it is more for rest than anything else. He does have the wrist injury, and he has a nagging groin injury, so hey, put him aside. He knows what to do, or at least we think he does.
Yeah, I think these are maintenance days. One thing that did happen, though, is Clyde returned early, and so did Kyle Long returned for a few rounds early on in the practice.
I will be astounded if he plays at all.
No, not this weekend. No way.
Ever. I mean, this guy's had 7 years of nothing but injury problems. Kyle Long's a good player. But when he came over from the Chicago Bears, he was damaged goods, and he's continuing to be damaged goods. But we'll see. We'll see how things work out. But over and above everything else, the Chiefs are in pretty good shape going into this game.
They are. Hopefully we can get a bunch of guys and gals wearing red and gold in Vegas and turn that place red on Sunday.
Be there.
They will be. A lot of them leaving on Friday. So got Thursday night football game. Normally I'd look at this lineup, I'd go, meh. But everything in the league this year is wacko. You got the Cardinals and Titans at the top of every power ranking list right now. I don't know where we are, but things have just, and you watch all the upsets last weekend, it's been topsy-turvy. So Ravens, Dolphins tonight, you think this is going to be a good matchup?
I do. I'll tell you why I do, too. First of all, you're talking about the Titans and the Cardinals, and they are good teams. That's not a fluke. They belong up top. Now, did anybody expect them to be there? No. They expected the Kansas City Chiefs and the Rams and people like that. And it may turn out at the end of the season that those teams will be there. But right now, I see teams going into Miami on a night game like this, a featured game, even though it is a Thursday night game. And Miami can rise up and play tough. They're not a walk in the park by any stretch of the imagination. I see Baltimore, which hasn't been playing at the top of its game, going down there to Hard Rock Stadium and having a tough time. That's not predicting that Miami wins, but I do think it'll be a pretty good game.
Well, I do too. And hey, I guess they were listening to the show because we were complaining about that Thursday night schedule for years and years. And now, this year, it seems for the most part, we've had some pretty good games all season long.
Lucked out. The NFL has lucked out in this because that schedule, when they put it in place, is in concrete. It's not going to change at all. Like the other games, you can flex them.
Yep.
But in this one, no, it is there, and there have been some dogs. I don't think this is one of them, though. I think it'll be a pretty good game.
Hopefully you're right. Now, one team that does not get talked about enough, especially locally, you never ever hear about anyone, but they are so damn good nationally, is the Missouri State soccer team. They were amazing last year. They played for a national championship?
They didn't play in the title game, but they got to the Sweet 16, a little bit beyond. That's pretty good.
And now they're ranked again.
They are indeed. They're a fine team. They've already won the regular season championship of the Valley, and now they're playing in the Missouri Valley Tournament, which is here. And the semifinals are tomorrow. There's one game in the afternoon that is the one semifinal. The other one is Friday evening, and this is over at the Betty and Bobby Allison soccer field right there in the middle of the campus. I mean, you can't go wrong. Might be a little bit cool.
That's what I was going to say. That weather's going to be a little dicey.
It's all right. That's okay. You're playing football in this weather. So
perfect.
You can wear the short pants and the soccer, too.
That's true.
And the Soccer Bears will play Bradley in the semifinals. I think, regardless of what happens, the Bears are going to go to the NCAA tournament anyway. They're too good. They're nationally ranked. But it's a good chance to see them at home. They have a chance of getting an NCAA tournament game at home like they did last year. That would be great as well. But hey, if you just enjoy sports, enjoy sports, period, and you're not doing anything, you don't have any affiliation with any of the high school teams that are playing on Friday night, hey, get on over to the campus and watch the soccer Bears. John Leamy, who retires when the Bears are eliminated this year, if they are ever eliminated, they may win the championship. But the fact is that he is retiring at the end of the season, and to watch him coach and to see his team in action is pretty doggone good.
Oh, yeah, especially what he's done for that program. You could just, watch the game Friday night, pitch a tent, watch the last home game for the Missouri State Bears football team on Saturday.
Absolutely.
I know Ned will be living in his...
And basketball Saturday night.
And his basketball game Saturday night. Man, I got your whole weekend planned out. The phrase moving the goalposts gets used a lot, but when it comes to projections, predictions, that goalpost is getting moved constantly. FCS playoff predictions had Missouri State going in. If it had started, 2-3 weeks ago, it'd been changing. Is that still the case?
They're changing it yet, but the Bears are still in those playoffs, and as you knew they would be, and I think they are going to be when the final selections come around. The latest bold projection, which was looked at yesterday, has the Bears playing a first-round game. They're not going to get a bye, according to this projection. They play a first-round game, and their opponent now, instead of being Incarnate Word out of Texas, would be Tennessee Martin. Tennessee Martin's pretty good. They're Ohio Valley Conference champs. They're 8-1 on the year. They've beaten some pretty good teams. But I really don't think, in my opinion, that they're in the classification of the Bears, because Missouri State is very, very good, and I think Tennessee Martin is probably capable, but I doubt that they could win. Anyway, so where would they play? That is a very good question, because there are no automatic projections in the first round. It is the school that bids the highest. In other words, it's about money. Whoever says, hey, we'll pay them this to go, oh, you're the home team.
God, isn't it funny how that works? Well,
now, when you get into the second round, and from there on in, it's a higher-seeded team that gets the home field. But the first round, so it could be in Martin, Tennessee, if, in fact, it turns out to be the opponent, or it could be here. I do think, however, regardless of what happens in these final two games, Northern Iowa Saturday and Dixie State next Saturday, regardless of what happens, I think the Bears make the playoffs.
Well, hopefully they do, and hopefully they got enough money to get them to have that first game here, because that'd be great and something to see. I know that place would be packed. So we're getting closer and closer to the end of the contract between the players and owners in Major League Baseball. It's going to become a topic of conversation between you and myself for probably the next few weeks, if not months, I have a feeling. Where are we at now?
Well, it comes to an end. The contract, the basic agreement, comes to an end at 1 minute before midnight, December 1st. In other words, the move from December 1st to December 2nd. If there's nothing decided then, the contract dissolves. It's out. So, what happens then? Well, the owners are the ones who hold the deck of cards here. They could say, okay, let's continue talking. Let's see what happens. We're not going to shut things down. However, that is not what's being hinted at. Apparently, these sides are still very far apart. You'd think sitting down over a period of time you could come to some kind of a conclusion, but evidently not. And, of course, the main ingredient is money. Now, there are other factors involved, but money is the big factor. I'm not going to bore you with all the details about who gets what, because Holmes, you're not getting any of it,
and I aren't.
Neither is Reynolds, believe me. So, hey, both of them go to hell as far as I'm concerned.
Fans lose in that situation. They lose every time.
It does look as though, according to all the reports, that if there is no agreement and the contract comes to an end at midnight, December the 1st, that the baseball owners will probably shut things down. So what does that mean? It means that the players are locked out. There's no dealing for free agents, no trades being made, no general managers meeting, no owners meeting, no baseball meetings, nothing like that. It is in limbo until an agreement's reached.
God, it's so stupid.
It is stupid.
It's so stupid. You can make moves, try to build your team up, and none of that stuff happens because these guys just can't get along. Well, yeah, like I said, fans lose out. We're the ones that lose out the most. Now, speaking of losing, Missouri State Bears lost on Tuesday, but the Lady Bears did get a win. When do they each play again?
Lady Bears had a very nice win. Arkansas Little Rock is no chopped liver, folks. They are a very good basketball team, and the Lady Bears went down there to Little Rock and beat them. Well, the Lady Bears are let's put it in the proper correspondence in terms of time now. The Bears basketball team is back on the court Saturday night, and they're playing here at JQH Arena against Alabama State. Most of you are not familiar with Alabama State. They are Division I. They're a SWAC team, and the SWAC is the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And the Alabama State Hornets are one of these SWAC teams, like all of them, that go on the road to start out the season because it helps their bank accounts. They're not really wealthy colleges. They're historically black colleges, and they like to get that big paycheck. Well, Alabama State opened up last night in Nashville against the Vanderbilt University Commodores. Vanderbilt is very good in basketball. Vanderbilt beat them 91-72. Well, Alabama State comes here Saturday night. The Bears are going to have to play a whole lot better than they did against Southeast Missouri, but I do think they will. Dana Fort's good coach, and he'll get them whipped into shape. The Lady Bears will play at JQH on Sunday afternoon, and they're playing North Texas. That's out of Denton, Texas, and the North Texas Mean Green, probably not in the category of the Lady Bears. No. Very few teams are. But that's a 2 o'clock game at JQH Arena, and that's the only time this month that the Lady Bears are home. They're on the road to tournaments and playing elsewhere for the rest of this month, and then into December they'll return home again.
Wow. So Bears, if you were listening to the stands on Tuesday night and you kept hearing someone yell, "Play D," that was Ned. He's trying to help you out. Listen to him. You have a great day, sir.
Yes, sir.